Okay, here we go. This one gets even more fun. So we have 2 sine theta plus 3 sine theta equals -1. First thing is, just like with normal quadratics, you want to get everything onto one side so you can factor or use the quadratic formula. So I'm going to add 1 to both sides. So I have 2 sine squared theta plus 3 sine theta plus 1 equals 0. And I am telling you right now, whenever I look at that, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I don't feel like I can even think with the signs in there. So what I personally do is I go out to the side and I write x equals sine theta, and I take the sign out until I'm finished factoring, then I put it back in. So I'm just going to take the sign out, so 2 sine becomes x, so 2x squared plus 3x plus 1 equals 0. Now everybody can factor that. We know that that factors out to be 2x plus 1 times x plus 1 equals 0. Now we can go ahead and plug the sign back in. It's a lot easier to factor if you put the x in. I don't know why, our brains just think of it better. So we've got some of you that don't like to show as much work may just skip ahead, but we've got 2 sine theta, because that's what x was equivalent to, plus 1 times sine theta plus 1 equals 0. From here, just like in the first example, I need to solve each part, because if this 2 sine theta plus 1 is 0 times this quantity, that would be 0. Or if this is 0 times this quantity, that would be 0. So I have 2 equations again. 2 sine theta plus 1 equals 0. So I'm going to go ahead and isolate the trig ratio, subtract 1 from each side. 2 sine theta equals -1. Divide both sides by 2. So sine theta equals -1/2. All right, so I want you guys to think, are we going to use a 30-60-90 triangle or a 45-45-90 triangle? So think which one has a 1 and a 2 in it. Okay, so we're going to use 30-60-90. So over here I'm going to draw my quadrant. All students take calculus. I know my sign needs to be negative, so all signs positive there, signs positive there. Here's the first quadrant where it's negative. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So my hypotenuse is 2. I'm going to go ahead and erase the t. My opposite is -1, and that would leave this as -3. So this angle would have to be 30 degrees because 1 is across from 30 degrees. Now I have to figure out what angle it would be altogether. If I look, that would be 180 plus 30, so it would be 210 degrees. Now I have to see if I have any other answer, which I do because sine is also negative in this quadrant. So I'm going to draw another one. Again, opposite over hypotenuse, I've got -1 over 2. This is a positive √3. 30 is across from the 1. 60 is here, 90. Now I have to figure out how far I went. So I went all the way to here. It's almost to 360, but it's 30 degrees away. 360 minus 30 gives us 330 degrees. So 2 of our answers are 210 degrees and 330 degrees. Now I'm going to go back up here to this one, sine theta plus 1 equals 0. So just kind of whoop, arrow. Sine theta plus 1 equals 0. Isolate the trig ratio, so I have subtract 1 from both sides. Sine theta equals 0, or sorry, not 0, -1. And this is one where I have to use my unit circle. So I have the point 1, 0, 0, 1, negative 1, 0, and 0, negative 1. Sine is the y values. So I look at my y's, not negative 1, not negative 1, not negative 1, up only here, right here it's negative 1. That's 0, 90, 180, 270 degrees. Our interval is from 0 to 360, so we're done. We just need to list out our answers all together. So we have 210 degrees as an answer from here, 270 is an answer from here, and 330 degrees is an answer from there. See, that's fun. All right, we're gonna try another one.